Hi, and welcome to this reading. Today's reading, I'm picking up on the energy that you are about to blow some people's minds. Their perception of you, and I was getting the song, You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. You're about to come out of the gates and they are going to be in shock. Some people are going to be in awe. Something that you have been working on, something that you have been doing, I want to say quietly, behind the scenes. Something that people wouldn't expect of you because they had you pigeonholed. When I was getting the energy through for this reading, I was trying to think and I was getting frustrated because there are pigeons on my roof. They've actually made a home underneath the solar panels on my roof. Now, I can understand that because solar panels are glass, they're nice and warm, they build a nest. It makes sense. But it was the word pigeons, because I was like, that's pigeons. I was trying to work out what the noise was. It's pigeons. You've been pigeonholed. Perhaps you come from a workplace or a family and actually this was coming through in a reading yesterday that I was doing. People who have had their life planned out for them by somebody else, either because they didn't know what they wanted to do or they were following the guidelines of, a family tradition, or if you're super smart, then you study medicine or law. But you might be a painter. And even though you have the brains for the academic life, the creative life might be calling you. So this could be a change in jobs, a change in location, just an absolute, I want to say 360. And even this, as I was setting up, because the readings that I did in the last couple of days, because I've got a new puppy in the household. Normally I've got a little room in the house where I do my readings, but I can't see the puppy. And thankfully my husband is home today, so he's out with the puppy, making sure that he gets taken out to use the bathroom. But I've moved all my cards back into this table, and this was actually on the floor. Now, if you can see, it's like a 360. The meaning of this card, it's number 12. The meaning of this card, it's not a card, it's a rune. But the number 12 in the tarot is the Hangman, which is Neptune coming up from the depths. You're about to surface with something new, almost like a phoenix rising from the ashes. That was another thing that came through in a reading this morning. It was about where your Uranus is, because Uranus is earthquake energy. Uranus is the Fool card in the tarot, so it's a new beginning. But it comes with a big seismic event. Uranus, I think on the 8th, today's the 6th of November. On the 8th of November, Uranus goes back into Taurus until I think April next year, April 2026. Now, when Uranus is in Taurus, we see lots of seismic events because Taurus is Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, tearing something down. Interesting. But 12 is the Hangman. That was also something that came up. Was the current placements of Neptune, which is the Hangman, and I can't remember what the other one was. One of the other planets is at 29 degrees. You're about to teach people a lesson in underestimating you, underestimating your ability. Maybe you had been pigeonholed in a workplace. Maybe you had been pigeonholed in a family. But that placement of Uranus and Neptune was there at that particular degree, at 29 degrees, when the Fukushima disaster happened, nuclear. Something about to go viral, maybe? Because that happened because of a tsunami. And I'm just using that as a metaphor. But that is what's at play in the planetary alignments at the moment. And then we have Uranus retrograding back into Taurus. Number 12, Jera, Jera. Harvest and year. So 12 months of the year. Maybe you've been working on something for 12 months, for 12 years. It corresponds with the phonetic value Y, the deity Frey or Freya, apple. I think of Albert Einstein, and actually that's what I was going to say about Uranus. So Uranus, depending on where it falls in your chart, but I watched 2 readings this morning, and both of them, Albert Einstein and Prince Andrew, both had Uranus in their 3rd house. And when Uranus falls in your 3rd house, you may have it there, you may not. I mean, it would be interesting to have a look at where your Uranus is, because Uranus is, I want to say transformation, but that's Pluto. Uranus is sudden shocking events. But if you have Uranus in your 3rd house, you have had most likely a very difficult childhood. And did Prince Andrew have it? I know Albert Einstein had it, a very, very difficult childhood. Uranus in the 3rd house, where you felt like you weren't heard, you weren't listened to, you weren't included. And so as you go through all of the lessons that you have in life, the 12 months of the year, all of the different lessons that are on your soul path, you build up the confidence, and potentially you have been quietly, and I got the 8 of Pentacles, you have been quietly working behind the scenes. And this is Jera. Its meaning is year and harvest, and you are about to harvest what you have been working on, and that is what's going to shock people. I recognize perception, another card that came out in the pre-shuffle. I recognize that each individual transverses their own distinct journey, complete with its own set of trials and tribulations. Maybe yours have taken longer. Maybe you had to bust through that glass ceiling, whatever that is in your life. Whether it is the expectation of people around you, be it parents, be it culture, be it financial circumstance, be it a woman in a male-dominated workplace. I'm just giving examples. But it's harvest time. The planet is the sun, so we're talking about the rune here. The planet is the sun. The day is Sunday, and the element is fire, phoenix rising from the ashes. The number 12 signifies a solar cycle of 12 months. Appropriately, it is also the number of Jera, the rune whose name means year, a full solar cycle. In the old Germanic tongue, Jera also means harvest, being derived from the word Gia, meaning good season or high summer. It signifies the completion and culmination of a process, a full cycle, emphasizing the result, the gains that are produced and available for use. This is the reward for the correct action, correct in a natural rather than ethical sense. For we are dealing here with natural law rather than human convention. Let me just sit on that. If the poppy's seed capsule ripens and its seed scattered by the wind, then by the time the year has come full round again, more fruits will have been produced. If we act in accordance with nature's laws by gathering our seed correctly, planting it at the right time in well-prepared soil, then with luck and good weather, we can expect to harvest a full crop. Correct action reaps its own rewards in the fullness of time. The shape of the rune suggests motion. This is what is produced by the interaction of heavenly and earthly forces, time and space. Again, it means reward, abundance, fruition, maturity, and growth. The right action or natural law. Jera heralds rewards for right action, a deserved harvest for a good farmer. Those who have lived their lives in accordance with natural law can expect to be rewarded for their efforts. Jera reversed emphasizes an inherent dualism, suggesting conflict with natural law, the inner turmoil that results from wrong action or inaction. Okay, now I'm going to give you an example of that, because this morning what popped up in my feed was the speech by the new mayor of New York. Now, I can't pronounce his name, and I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but you know who I mean. And there was a campaign against him by the wealthiest people of New York who didn't want him to become mayor. And they threw all of this money, like millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars at him specifically to... It was essentially a propaganda campaign so that people wouldn't vote for him. But it actually backfired because he did all the right things. He wasn't the most experienced, but the little guy won over the big guy. And I'm talking the big guy, the big guy with the really, really deep pockets. And this is Pluto and Aquarius at the moment. It's about revolutionary change where People are actually coming up from the depths. People that have been, if you look at the astrological wheel, Aquarius is opposite to Leo on the wheel. So when Pluto is in Aquarius, the people rise, and those people in power, those people who pigeonholed you, they lose that power because the people talk. And obviously, for example, in that election, it didn't matter how much money was thrown at that campaign to stop him from becoming mayor. It was the people that spoke. There's something that you are about to do that's going to have people talking. And it's unexpected perception. It's unexpected. They're not going to, one, think that you're capable of it. It's that underdog energy. They're not going to think you're capable of it, but it's the natural order of events. It's meant to happen this way. I've got that Jordan Sparks song that came through the other day. It's going to happen when it's meant to happen, one step at a time. Well, you've been making the steps. You've been following the natural law. It's very, very, what you reap is what you sow. Okay, let's get a card. Healing and transformation for you. For you, I would say, if you have been pigeonholed, if you have been held back, if you have been begrudged of a dream that you had, being able to step forward and get the recognition for work that you've done is actually healing and transformative for you. And in turn, you then inspire somebody else. Deep shadow work. Move these up a little bit. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. A bit about me first. I'm an intuitive tarot reader. I pick up on energy prior to a reading. I will then come and use my tarot and oracle decks to further clarify that message. All of the messages are timeless. As I said, though, it is the 6th of November today. We just had the Taurus supermoon. I think it was called the Beaver moon. And then at the end of the month, we've got the Scorpio new moon. So the new moon in Scorpio's transformation. It's death and rebirth. Now, all the decks that I use on my channel are my own designs because I'm also an illustrator. So if you're called to any of those, the links can be found in the description box. Let's get some energy for you. What have we got here? 3 of Wands. That is telling me that my deck is upside down. There's a reversal of fortune here. 3 of Wands is new horizons. Let's have a look at the energy around you. The 4 of Wands, that's a card of celebration. How beautiful. That's really, really lovely. That is Venus in Aries. Aries is fire energy. It's about charging forward, doing something that you love, doing something that is on your spiritual path, because we are following the natural laws here. Following your north node, my words today. Following your north node. And Venus is about nurturing and birthing something that you love, something that you can celebrate, because the 4 of Wands is a card of celebration. Let's have a look at you in the 3D. Oh, we've got lots. 7 of Pentacles. I was going to say, what have you been working on? Look at that. That's beautiful. What have you been working on? The things that you planted seeds, the 7 of Pentacles, where you planted your seeds, the action that you took, that's the Emperor card. Now, a balanced Emperor, because we're talking about Jera here, which is 12 months, and what it's talking about is the natural cycles of life. So a balanced Emperor, methodically, the 8 of Pentacles, plants the seeds, puts the work in, and then at the end, in the 3D, because this is a 3D position, reaps the reward, the 10 of Pentacles. An unbalanced Emperor would be somebody who charges forward and makes a big modge podge of it, makes a big mess of it. But this Emperor here is planting seeds and getting reward. So this is a balanced Emperor. You're in balanced Emperor energy, which is a combination of wisdom and action. And what's happening in your soul? The Knight of Pentacles. That's so beautiful. I just heard slow and steady wins the race, because the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight. It's Saturn in Capricorn. It's methodical energy. Really, really methodical energy. And maybe that's how you've kept this emperor energy that you have in balance. Slow and steady wins the race. I want to charge forward. No. Let's just one step at a time. Message from the man upstairs about, whoa, this is beautiful. This reading is so beautiful. That's justice. The justice card. You're about to be rewarded for the effort that you've put in. Balance. That's beautiful. Justice. All eyes on you. Look at that. And we've got the Hermit at the bottom. This whole thing, I think, has been part of a big spiritual journey for you. Because the Hermit is a spiritual journey. I recognize that each individual transverses their own distinct journey, complete with its own trials and tribulations. And the outcome. Oh. As I said in the beginning, Phoenix rising from the ashes, that's the Ace of Wands. That's a gift from God. That's fire energy. That's creativity. That is an action card. But it's an action card sitting here underneath the Emperor, a balanced Emperor, somebody who's gone in, done the hard work, and is about to reap the rewards. If you haven't already begun, because this is in the 3D, you might be starting to see the beginning and the jaws dropping of the people around. And maybe slow and steady wins the race. Maybe you've been working, because we do still have the Hermit on the bottom. Maybe you've been working in silence, and the things that you have been achieving have got people thinking, oh my goodness, I was not even aware, because they had pigeonholed you. And maybe you are doing something different because you don't want to stay where you are. It's almost like you're expanding your repertoire. Deep shadow work. I think you've been guided. I really think you've been guided. This is really beautiful. The Ace of Wands. And as I said, the Hermit on the bottom. Yeah, look at that. And you've been guided. I opened the deck to that. The Temperance card. The Angel. You've been guided on this journey that you're on. This is really beautiful, this reading. I'm going to get this little deck here, and I'm going to clarify this celebration energy. What can we know about this celebration? Okay, my deck's upside down. We've got the Star, the Knight of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles. I'm going to turn the deck around. And again, it's that energy of you are turning things around. Fated. The Star is fated. What's meant to happen for you, the path that you chose, the shadow work that you've done, the healing and transformation that will come from it. And I'm not saying to you that you're doing it for the of the people around you who will be surprised as for what you've been able to achieve, because to me, you've done it for yourself with the Hermit card there, but it's fated. The Knight of Cups is the moon in Scorpio, which, as I said, is the new moon in Scorpio is at the end of the month. A new moon is when there's no moon. The moon is in the sky, but there's a shadow over it, so you can't see it. So what you've been doing is hidden. The end of the month. I think it's the 20th of November. And the Page of Pentacles, which is the card of the student. The hard work that you've put in, the lessons that you've learned, the healing and the transformation. I recognize that each individual is on their own distinct journey. And maybe yours has just taken a little longer. And because it's taken a little longer, people have pigeonholed you into, I want to say, a one-hit wonder is what just popped into my head. That's annoying me now. I like it straight. That's really beautiful. This is you, the work that you've done. Yeah, look at that. The Two of Wands is Mars in Aries. It's about making plans. The seeds that you planted, making plans. The plans that you have made have allowed you to create a new spiritual path for yourself. And they've allowed you to get out of a phase of being pigeonholed. Maybe you have not had the opportunity. You know, sometimes we can be pigeonholed because we don't necessarily have the finance to do the degree that we want to do, or we have to stay in a job. Even though we want to do something else, we have to stay in a job because we've got a mortgage to pay and we've got, you know, other associated costs. The Wheel of Fortune. These cards are so literal. Okay, so the Eight of Cups is walking away from something that doesn't serve you anymore, walking away from something that you've been pigeonholed in. You've created, by the seeds that you've planted, you've created a new path, and now we have the Wheel of Fortune. You've turned the wheel in your favor. These are beautiful cards. The Empress, balance. You've turned the wheel in your favor. I'm going to pop that there. Just let me straighten these up. If I hold that one down, then these ones. The energy here is that it's almost like when you're at a bowling alley and you knock one pin over and it knocks the other and knocks the other. It's almost like things are set in motion. And no matter what you touch now, because you've planted those seeds and you've done it in a methodical way and you've done it in alignment with universal law, things will just keep happening. Positive things will just keep happening. The Ten of Cups. This is beautiful. The Ten of Cups. And actually, you know what? What does that look like? Pins. Bowling pins. Is that what you call them? The Ten of Cups. I just heard spiritual freedom. I'm not saying that it is. This could be romance. And maybe, potentially you could be leaving one relationship that you had been pigeonholed in. Maybe you married somebody who, or you were with somebody who your parents thought was great for you. And then, it just kind of had you bound. And now, this is not somebody here, if this is you, this is not somebody here that goes and hooks up and has an affair because it's the easiest way to get out of a relationship. This is somebody who removes themselves from a situation, creates a future for themselves. It would be somebody who, for example, knowing that they didn't want to be with their partner anymore and maybe they've stayed at home and raised children. It would be somebody who would go back to university and get themselves a degree so that they then had some stability at the point where they decide to extract themselves from the relationship. If we're talking about relationship here. And again, that is balanced Emperor energy. It is slow, methodical, the laws of the universe. And then what you get from a soul perspective, even though it takes longer, but you get this beautiful Ten of Cups, which is spiritual fulfillment because you've done things the right way. You haven't charged in like a bull in a china shop. And that one fell on the floor. The High Priestess, hidden. They counted you out. They pigeonholed you and counted you out. And the longer it took, I just said the longer it took, the more they didn't see you as a threat. It's all about to be revealed. The Justice card. The Five of Cups. And the Queen of Cups. And the Five of Swords, which is Venus and Aquarius. You've had to do something very bold and unconventional here. And maybe it was following your intuition, even though you felt like there had been disappointment, that people had put you on the wrong path, or thought that you were only good for one thing. Queen of Cups also fills her own cup. Doesn't need anybody else. The Ace of Wands. Okay. The Moon. And the Five of Swords. As I said, very unconventional. They're not going to be, you ain't seen nothing yet. They're not going to be expecting it. It's hidden by the moon. I've got a card in here. What have I got? The Five of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles on the bottom, which is that slow moving energy again. Let's come back here. The Five of Pentacles is a card of being left out in the cold. The Moon is what's hidden. The Five of Swords is Venus in Aquarius, which is doing something that you love, but it's unconventional. It's not expected. And so therefore, these people around you are not going to expect it because it's hidden. And they're going to wonder with this Five of Pentacles here, why they weren't aware or why they underestimated you. They're going to be shocked. Okay, let's get some Scrabble tiles. Letters and numbers in here. Could be your first, middle, last initial. Something that you've been working on. The letters of somebody around you. Let's just see what comes out. It does make a little bit of noise when I shake it. So if you've got hearing sensitivity, just turn your volume down. I'm going to shake it in 3, 2, 1. Oh. Sorry, I will turn the volume down. I dropped that. An F and a 4. A BF. Boyfriend, best friend. A B and a 3. Facebook. Interesting. A J and an 8. An S and a 1. A Y and a 4. An L and a 1, a Q, and a 10, an R and a 1, an M and a 3, an N and a 1. I don't want that one, I want that one last. A C and a 3, a U and a 1, CU. This is moving on up energy. And what is this one? A D and a 2. Okay, let's get you 3 final cards. Anything else your guides want to tell you? Aside from, I just heard congratulations. Aside from congratulations. Judgment. Judgment. That's beautiful. In this particular deck, these two follow their soul path and God turns them into a pair of birds so they can fly away to their freedom. This is freedom energy for you because you have been slow and steady wins the race and you've created what you've been creating in alignment with universal law. You've not taken any shortcuts. You've not taken any shortcuts. Wow, the Tower. You are going to shock. You're about to shock a lot of people. The Tower. This is this dragon. You're about to shock people. And the Knight of Cups again with this moon energy. That's the moon in Scorpio. The moon is what's hidden and Scorpio is death and rebirth. Wow. And on the bottom, the King of Wands. That's you standing in your power. The King of Wands here is this guy here on the bridge. Building, working in silence. And then turning around to everybody and saying, see ya. Wow. What a great reading. All the best and congratulations to you on the work that you've put in, because for these, if this reading resonates for you, for these cards to come out the way that they've come out means that you have done everything the right way. You've not created any karma. Even though you've probably been bashed around a little bit on the journey, you've just kept focused forward. Deep shadow work, kept focused forward. Well done to you. If this reading resonated with you, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you call to any of my tarot and oracle decks, the links to them can be found in the description box. All the best. Congratulations. And I will see you in another reading.